It was only a matter of time until Game Freak slipped up and the data miners put 2 and 2 together. So we've been following the constant stream of Crown Tundra information over the last couple of days because there's a lot of Crown Tundra data in the Isle of Armor DLC. But with this recent news, I think we've peaked because we have the full Crown Tundra Dex. Those of you who are easily disappointed, click off this video now. Actually, don't, because it's bad for algorithm. But behold, the Crown Tundra Dex. Now, there's probably a lot of cool things that people are excited for. Fossil Pokemon, they're back in. Kanto fossils, those are back in. However, it seems like a pretty small list when you get into it. Like, there's not a lot of new Pokemon or surprises, and we already knew about this. We could have effectively figured this out just from the information we already have. And the biggest problem are the legendary Pokemon. That's also going to be one of the best things about the Crown Tundra, because there's going to be a legendary raid feature. But the problem is there's a lot of legendary Pokemon, and we knew that we were getting about 100 new Pokemon or a little more, and that was with the announcement of the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass. So, free update, over 100 familiar species of Pokemon will become available in the Isle of Armor. And as we saw with the Isle of Armor, it's not like we got 150 or something insane like that. We got just over 100. Same thing could be assumed for the Crown Tundra. Another wave of over 100 returning Pokemon, which actually puts us over 600. We have more than 2/3 of the Pokedex coming into a single Pokemon game. That's more than any other Pokemon game has had inside the game. But it's still only going to be 100, and then half of those are going to be legendary Pokemon, including Ultra Beasts. So, there we go. And we can also use official information to confirm the legitimacy of this. So Game Freak has basically confirmed the Pokemon they plan to add into the Crown Tundra with the Dex entries they left out. Plus minus Mewtwo, Mew, Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion, which are already available, but not with Dex entries. Basically, Game Freak deleted the Dex entries for these Pokemon, rather than leaving them blank like the Pokemon that weren't intended to come back, like Weedle, Pidgey, Rattatalines. And there it is. Game Freak's slip up from not properly scrubbing and not understanding what people go through the data mine their games, and they just kind of left the book open for us, and we could figure out which Pokemon are going to be coming back with the Crown Tundra. Now, I guess this can be debunked. Maybe, like, this is very early on, because if you think about it, Crown Tundra still likely in beta, because the Isle of Armor wasn't completed June 13th and then pushed out for an update. If these were developed in tandem, Isle of Armor was finished months and months ago, and then the data that's alongside the Isle of Armor that's being pushed with this could also just be very recent, more like a beta of the Crown Tundra instead of the finalized version. However, going back to the amount of confirmed Pokemon, I don't feel like Game Freak is going to push 150 or something. Now, of course, if a future trailer shows an excluded Pokemon, there is hope, but the Datamine, the other information from the Datamine, doesn't really give us too much hope. Lol, Game Freak didn't remove the location info for the Crown Tundra from their encounter tables. And it kind of shows that there's a lot of existing Pokemon eating up a lot of space in the encounter tables. The normal grass tables are scrubbed, but entries 107 onwards in the overworld table appear to be beta work in progress Tundra tables. So it goes back to like a beta theory, but again, I don't see them being too many more Pokemon being added in if we are in like some kind of beta look at the Crown Tundra just from the Datamine, and then there's going to be like double or triple of the stuff added in. And then we can actually look at the tables. We can see a lot of existing Pokemon taking up a lot of space. I mean, alright, we got Overcast in this area being 45, 45, 1, which means there's either going to be like a 4, 5% or 9% Pokemon. And then that's it. So it's actually missing a couple of percentages, but that doesn't leave a lot of Pokemon open. And again, when most of the new Pokemon are being eaten up by legendaries. So yeah, we just have some older evolutionary line Pokemon that are going to be coming in, and we knew about most of them anyways. But the problem for me is that we've actually seen a good amount of the wild area through the trailers, and it seems like the Crown Tundra is going to be larger than the Isle of Armor, and there's some pretty cool gameplay that we've seen. We've seen some really cool areas to find new Pokemon in. However, when it came to playing the actual Isle of Armor DLC, I felt like there were just barely enough new Pokemon to make it exciting. If we're just going to have these encounter tables, or not these encounter tables, these encounter tables, I've already caught all these Pokemon. Like, if you've already completed the Dex, there's not going to really be too much more going on. There's not going to be any reason to explore the grass, to explore the raids in the wild area, unless you're only going for legendary Pokemon. So, I mean, that could have a lot of replayability, especially if you can keep on catching legendary Pokemon from the Datamines. There's multiple expeditions, multiple, like, crazy things going on, legendary regional variants and new Regis and all kinds of quests, but it's still going to feel like there's not as much to do. So if Game Freak turns around and actually has like 100 returning Pokemon plus the 50 legendaries and all those other things, that's going to be really cool. But this Dex does not inspire me with confidence, and I do want to kind of go into it a bit more specifically. So here we go, guys. Here's your Dex. Let me go into Photoshop. Let me go and bring out a red marker so we can go and talk about these Pokemon. So Nido family. They usable, mostly Nidoking. That sheer force and its rainbow of coverage is pretty solid. Nidoking and Nidoqueen actually got a little bit of play in Pokemon Let's Go. That's an interesting thing about having Gen 1 Pokemon return, because their absence really isn't felt as much. And Pokemon Let's Go was so balanced as a competitive game, almost every Pokemon was viable. So I actually got to see more of them in Let's Go competitively than you have in like the last decade or so of competitive play. Having Zubat back, not gonna be the same without like the wild cave jump scares, but Crobat's competitive. That's gonna be pretty cool. Jinx, there's still like a rumor going around. Well, not even rumor. There's just like data for what sounds like a Mega Jinx or a Galarian Jinx kind of cry going on. So maybe there's still like new Pokemon, new forms be coming in. Evolution, Gen 4 stuff. I don't know. And I was never like a big fan of Magmar and Electabuzz's evolutions, but yeah, they're in. However, I'm pretty sure we knew about this off of the official information anyways. So Fossil's coming back. There we go. I mean, it isn't fair for me to only look at this from a competitive lens, but Gen 1 Fossils, we just had to play with them and let's go. Aerodactyl can be viable. Even without Mega, can still be viable. I think like Mega kind of made it less viable in Generation 6 and 7 because everyone else was Megaing something else. Aerodactyl's like fast and hits and maybe gets a buff or like some kind of cool little update. Almastar, you gotta be afraid of it. If it drops, if it gets that Shell Smash, it's terrifying. However, you just Dynamax, eat the hit, and then KO it, so you can counter that. This looks like regular legendary birds, but we at least know of the Galarian forms. So if the regular ones are available, that's a possibility. Dragonite's back. I mean, that's just hype in general. People love their Dragonite. It's also going to be really interesting to see competitively, to be honest. And then block of legendary Pokemon. Hold up! Gen 3 starters. Now, I knew they were already in there just from like peeking this earlier, and you guys have probably already seen that. Wait, no Gen 2 starters though. However, Gen 3 starters. Gigantamax? Is Game Freak going to pull that on us? You know, actually, that would be just super unfair to a lot of the other Pokemon, though, or a lot of the other starters, because now we have Megas for Gen 3, and then Gigantamax. I don't think they're going to do that. However, it means they are going to be encounterable in the wild, maybe obtained as an event, or at least just a max raid battle. So it's like, yeah, you got some max raid battles to do. I think it's going to be pretty cool if there's, like, an overworld weather condition where you get an overworld Dragonite spawn. It was already, like, super common in the overworld in Pokemon Let's Go. So, Dragonite being in the overworld, that's nice. Getting a 5-star competitive ready one from a max raid battle. So, we got Dragonite raids. We got starter raids. Got some other fan Pokemon people like. Fossils. Big question is if these are going to be from the raids or if these are going to be just like you get the fossils in some kind of method. However, that suggests another digging duo. Maybe a new thing like a Crown Tundra Armorite, or you go back to Watts, some other kind of method. People like their Absol. Without Mega, like Mega barely made it viable, and without Mega, I don't see it really being too viable. Like Super Luck, yeah, it's a thing. Walrein, just kind of a filler Pokemon that belongs. Same with these Pokemon. Salamence, or bring back the rest of the pseudo legendaries. Salamence got like decent usage before Megas made it kind of insane, but we'll see how Salamence goes. Just another Dragon Dance Pokemon that can like now do a powerful Airstream and then maybe take off Moxie. So yeah, we have Gyarados Dynamax 2nd edition. Metagross is going to be really good as always. Legendary, another block of legendaries. Spiritomb's back. I like Spiritomb. Hopefully there's actually like a cool mini quest for getting Spiritomb. You have to earn it in some kind of way, and then that expands upon the extra features. And I'm just overhyping myself on this one. Like, I feel like it is really just going to be legendary expeditions and, like, fun stuff. But the Crown Tundra, I thought it was going to be, like, the big boy. And unless Game Freak adds a lot of like little mini games and a lot of extra little things on top, like more than the Isle of Armor, it's gonna be good. Like, it's not gonna be incredible, it's just gonna be good. I don't see it being bad. It's just gonna be good. Wait for Diamond Pearl remakes. Garchomp's in. Fun. Big legendary block. No Gen 5, other Gen 5 Pokemon. Let's actually make sense. You know, James Turner, being the art director, put all of his Gen 5 favorite Pokemon into base Pokemon Sword and Shield. Oh, wait, no, wrong. We have... Oh, I did it backwards because I'm bad. I forgot Audino, or not Audino. Victini is 0 in the Unova Dex. Audino doesn't really make too much of a difference. Gen 5 Fossils. We also knew about Cryogonal. Again, I'm bad. So Gen 5 Fossils is going to be in the same boat as Gen 3 Fossils. Things going to happen. We'll see. Legendaries. More Fossils. Carbink finding a way in. That's kind of cute. No other Generation 7 Pokemon, apparently. All the Ultra Beasts make sense from the Datamine. And then, that's it. Okay, let's think about it like this. The Isle of Armor, probably worth over 20 bucks. Somewhere between 20 or 30. I know if I say 30, people are going to get upset. But I've already gotten a lot of content and enjoyment out of it. However, you can kind of speedrun the story in like 2 hours. So, I mean, like, the Isle of Armor is worth it. It's good extra content. There's a lot of other things. The quality of life improvements are also amazing. And then the new Pokemon being added in. However, those are being added in for free in just regular Pokemon Sword and Shield. Like, a lot's going on with the Isle of Armor. That's good. So with the expansion pass being half the price of Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Crown Tundra being like a quarter of Pokemon Sword and Shield, I already see it being more than that. Just from like all the features and extra stuff. And maybe it'll be pretty. That's what I liked about the Isle of Armor. It's a pretty Pokemon experience. And you get more overworld exploration, which is always fun. Like, if you can just really live it up and feel like you're playing Pokemon, like you're having a real Pokemon adventure, you get a lot more value out of modern Pokemon games. Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Let's Go. Treat it like an experience and not just trying to leech like every possible aspect of a game or like every idea of a game's value out of it. You do a lot better and you get a lot more out of the games, which I think is pretty cool. But, it's going to be raids, and then, like, if they add a couple of extra cheeky little fun things like they have in the Isle of Armor, yeah, it'll be worth it. However, we got a mid-year Pokemon game in the Isle of Armor. That's awesome. I love the idea of DLC. I never thought Game Freak was going to do DLC or an expansion pass. It's already met my expectations and exceeded it just a little bit with the Isle of Armor. So Crown Tundra can really only add on top of that, and cool story, the Calyrex fusion. Like, there's a lot of possibility here that I like. And then we just have to think about, are we going to get new Pokemon game in, you know, this time next year? June gives us no new Pokemon game. So, I mean, like, we have a constant feed of Pokemon ecosystem games, and then eventually Diamond Pearl remakes come out, and this was a good holdover. Like, I'm trying to detach from, like, overvaluing Crown Tundra and Isle of Armor, just seeing it as a holdover into Diamond Pearl remakes. And then that's where it's at. Also, we still have the new Pokemon game announcement next week. Pokemon Snap 2. New Pokemon Snap! There we go. Crown Tundra keeps me happy until new Pokemon Snap. That's all that matters. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.